I went back to listen to it, and I didn't hear nothing in the comments, nothing at all when I was listening to it. So now I get to actually see what's going on with my footage. And now I'm live right now, and it's not even showing me that I'm live. Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, this time it's letting me do a little bit more. So therapy, emotional support, dog. I try to make sure I can get into it. So I guess we'll get to looking at other programs. What is a breeding program? What other people say about their breeding programs. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's jump into it. Okay. Um, this is Jess. I got to get my setup ready. Y'all just bear with me 1 second. And I got to test to make sure everything is. Cause like I said, I just did a live 45 minutes. And it wasn't worth the count. Let's see what's on. Just make sure y'all bear with me. Yeah, just bear with me a little more longer. See, can I get a sound to come out of these speakers? It's actually not going so well. So just trying to make sure I can get my sound to come out these speakers when I start to go live. Just, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we'll just. Okay, I should have done it another way, but this is the way we're doing it. I wanted to let me go opposite. So they're gonna let me go opposite. Welcome back to Your Baby Count. Maybe I have to get my other device. Okay, we're gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely get my other device. See, they ain't letting me do what I want to do on this, so let me see. Can I switch to live to this device? Let's see. Can I actually enter the live? Let me see. No, it won't let me into the live either. Okay, so we're gonna have to see if my other devices. Okay, yes it is. You know, I just go to it off my other device. Go to YouTube. Um, it want to upgrade. I'm trying to be able to do this, but I want to be able to talk about breeding programs. So, which I'm gonna be showing y'all different breeding programs. Get in the chat. Make sure y'all talk, comment, so I can learn more about y'all breeding programs. Because right now my tablet is not coinciding with me right now. But y'all can ask any questions. We can go and get to it. Okay, maybe it went dead. Ain't no maybe. I guess it went dead. And this right here is not letting me do what I want to do. Okay, maybe. Let me see if I can do it this way. And going over different breeding programs, different strategies. Like I can't tell you how to how to breed your dogs.
This episode right here is called by something different, not just notes, not just stories, but a statement. And
See,
failure.
and it
A
won't even.
collaboration with Billy Bulls. I want everybody to understand that it's coming soon. Shirts and clothing coming soon. And it's not by doing this in collaboration with Billy Bulls. So let's just make that clear every episode. And let's talk about the quality. We talk about the quality. The quality is great. It's loose material. If you work out in
We
the
can't
gym,
even get it in like we
you could be
want
in
to.
the yard, sitting on the bench, walking the dog, looking up the dogs, whatever you're doing. Very breathable, good material for the skin, very
It's a, it's
comfortable.
it's.
We got
I'm trying to
minerals
get it
and
in.
coffee and
It won't even let me get it in, guys. I want to see can I. I'm just gonna try to take it off of Bluetooth and see would it play loud enough on my phone for us into my tablet. So we doing breeding programs, y'all. What is a breeding program? What is a healthy breeding program? A successful breeding program? Put your comments in there. I know that y'all can hear me. Last time y'all wasn't able to hear me. Yeah. So we know we can definitely hear. So we gonna ask, what is a breeding program? Let's listen to and react to some videos. What is a dog breeding program? And we go press like, okay, the tough decision that's define a dog breeding program. Uh, we also have Schoolboy out there with his dog breeding program. Um, Step one to starting a dog breeding program. So we probably will start there. And we just gonna be reacting to some of this. Shout out to some of our new faithfully associates and family. What is family? All those people who made the investment and have become a part of our long-term 12-dog strategy to get to Generation 3. We'll do some announcements. De Niro, how everything going? We just, so we can. I've been asking them, De Niro, what? would they consider a dog breeding program? So that's what we just going over tonight, trying to, just one on one, just a little talk here and there. Salute De Niro. I just got through getting on your channel with you, which I enjoy talking all the good dog talk and all the positive reinforcement that you have on your channel now. Um, I would like to say thank you for doing what you're doing, for studying and bringing out more dog people. That way I can have more people to socialize with, because I'm not here to prove anybody wrong. I'm not here to prove anybody right. But what I am here is to talk about the dog. We can spectate about the dogs. We can even say what ifs about the dogs. Go back as far as we can about the dogs, because people talk about mutts, mixed breeds. Truth be told, every dog comes from somewhere. Every dog have a lineage, whether if it's known or unknown. A lot of dogs have lineage that's not even a part of their paperwork. Some dogs have lineage, them dogs that's on their paperwork, it's not even dogs that they're related to. So when people go to do they line breedings and inbreedings trying to breed on a specific dog, they're not able to get that dog because they have hung paperwork. For a while, when I first got into the dog game, especially hearing about the hung paperwork, I was like, man, let me see the mama and daddy. Just let me see the mama and daddy, and then I'm gonna go from there, because I don't even know if the dogs back behind them is there or not. So I started going on that aspect. Let me see the mama and daddy. And then when it comes to like bulldogs, oldies, you don't know what kind of oldie you got. You don't know what's in that oldie. You don't know if that oldie more male stuff. You don't know if that oldie is based, because you can really breed the old. You kind of they might have closed their stud books, but they real open on breeding the oldies. This is why I chose the oldie to make a part of my breed, because you really able to experiment with them genetics, as long as you stay in those guidelines. I just dropped my F2 oldies, which is which are badass, on some heterochromia, and this has got something to do with eye color and the different shades of eye. Like heterochromia, when the dog had one blue eye, one brown eye, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of heterochromia. You got like central heterochromia, um, complete heterochromia, um, and it's another one if you know anything about that. So I deal with a lot of heterochromia with my dogs. That's the first thing. But actually, I do have a breeding purpose. I'm not breeding for the biggest dog. I'm not breeding for the. I am breeding for a healthy dog, great structure, but I'm not breeding for the dog with the biggest bone. My dogs are pretty big to me. Like I don't want no dog that. Let's say if worse things worse. Like when I was a kid, I was horrified of Rottweilers. My cousin them used to let they Rottweiler, almost get me. And I always knew, I noticed that I didn't want to fight a dog for my life. So I'm not really a huge dog fan. Like, if I feel like, okay, I might need a weapon to whoop this dog, most likely it's not going to be the dog that's in my program. I have deal with big dogs, Great Danes, the Doberman Pinschers, Neapolitans, Cane Corsos, the huge German Shepherds. If you know anything about them, I don't know if they the same. I just know we call them the giant German Shepherds. So I don't deal with a lot of dogs already in that area. So, what we going over tonight is just breeding programs, reacting to people talking about their breeding programs. And then at the end of it, I'll be wrapping it up with giving y'all some insight more on what I'm doing in my breeding program. Why did I choose that thumbnail? That dog is like my foundation dog to all my to my selection of breeding. My dogs so far, all but 3 dogs have this dog in their pedigree. My other 2 dogs, or my other 3 dogs, they are outcrosses, in which when I get through using them, they're going to have that dog in the offspring will have that dog in their pedigree. So I'm gonna be really using it to a high substantial level of breeding. Yes, I believe in inbreeding, line breeding, and like an outcross. Because I started with making a F1, and then after my F1, I made more F1s, and then I took my two F1s together, and I made an F2. All of them having that same dog. I was able to copy her eyes and give it to out of eight puppies. Out of eight puppies, eight, all eight had her eyes with different variations because of the other dog that I used to add to that that had a different heterochromia in her eye color. So you see the bulldog in my thumbnail, you see her, and she has the two blue eyes, but she has so there's like no pigmentation there. And then what I done was I bred my dog, which was a bully. It was like I wanted to do it early, but the person I was breeding with, they made me wait. So I got to breed like in 2021. My female dog was 2 years old. I was able to breed her. She dropped the puppies, and we've been up since then. But the female I used, she had a different heterochromia, and it was actually a heterochromia that is not seen in any other dog. So I do consider her as one of a kind. I looked it up. I looked at all the names of heterochromia. Her heterochromia was not there. And we also deal with dogs with like spotted eyes. So basically, this would be a brown dog, like a brown eye dog, but it had like blue spots in it, so it looked kind of like starry. I have a male like that. Um, I had a male with the blue eyes, and then when you get close to the pupil, they turn like a purple. So I actually breed strong on the head of your chromia. But, it is bullying my dogs. But I lean more towards the bulldog than the bullies. Until I can actually get my own name on my breed, my dogs are registered as oldies. Until I can get my own name. And I got the name that I picked out already. But it was already a dude that was breeding like um, staffies and bulldogs. He started early. He already had a register, so some of my dogs are registered under his dog breed register, which is old English bullies. And I think he was like in North Carolina. Real nice guy. I got to talk to him about dog breeding, about how his dogs was coming out, so I can already know which way to breed my dogs to get. Cause when you're using this bulldog, let's say you're using this bulldog, if you taking a 50-50 cross, let's say you breed a bulldog with whatever you breed it with, and you go back to that another bulldog, your puppies are gonna come out looking more bulldog than the 50-50 mix. If you go back the other way, it's gonna go out looking like whatever dog you're using more than the 50-50 mix. So what the ideal is to keep it in that 50-50 mix look, which I got great, great results of just having that hybrid between the 50-50 mix. Now, understanding the bully has bulldog in it. The pit bull has bulldog in it. The oldie has pit bull in it. It's back there. This is how David Levitt made the dog. He did that. He created the dog. He used four breeds. If I'm not mistaken, he used the American Bulldog, the English Bulldog, a Master type, and a Pit Bull type. A lot of people ain't using the Pit Bull type, but they still doing F1s with the English Bulldog. They still doing F1s with the American Bulldog. Um, I think you can even do a shortcut and just throw American Bulldog and English Bulldog and get it registered as an oldie. You ain't even got to put the other two dogs in it, the pit bull, or put the mastiff in it. You could just go with them two types of dogs, and I think they'll let you. That was like in 2021. There was the AKC was allowing this. I was watching the live. He actually called the AKC, and they told him. I heard him say it out there on my. Unless it was just some tomfoolery, but this is just how dogs are bred. And I'm real into the origin of dogs. So when I could just go on about dogs, 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 dogs. Even when I first heard about the American Bully, these people were screaming that they ain't put no bulldog in their American Bully. So now, what I was thinking is, so I tried to do it first, right? I was the first one to try to put the bulldog in the American Bully, but I wanted to tell people that I done it. So I posted it, 2020. If you can find me out there, you'll see me posting the dolls I'm finna put together. 2020 one, you'll see me post the picture of the dolls actually being stuck together. 2022, I had my litter. 2023, I moved to the wrong spot. I had to get rid of a lot of my dolls. My program slowed down a lot. 2023, that's when the Brazilians started missing theirs like I was missing mine. And they was able to further the program farther than I was without having those restrictions that I had on in the area that I am because I had one of them house codes where you can only do so much. So I had to regroup and I had to slow down. I was only able every 2 years I produce a litter, so my stuff is really moving slow. And I'm only breeding the dogs that I have to breed to go to my level. But my main mission was to make a cure or to complete the Merle gene. So I'm real deep into genetics, this heterochromia, eye genetics, irises, um, how to breed white dogs, how to breed piebald dogs, what other dogs that are similar to Merle, like the what is that Dachshund, the Merle Dachshund. Um, like it's like a weenie dog, but it's a little bit hairier than a weenie dog, but it's like a Dachshund. So I watched that. I watched them breed the Great Danes, the Harlequins, and those major colors like that. Can you breed two murals together? How the way to breed murals together? I was one of the first people that told people to breed the Merle with the Brindle because I felt like it would be the best match for the Merle and it'll give the Merle, you'll still have your Merle. Even though it has brindling in it, you'll still have your Merle. And I feel like that was the best breed at the time because I wasn't giving my ideas out on the way that I could breed Merles to Merles. So what I found out, now I'm just going into my breeding program, right? So what I found out that there was different levels of Merle. You have like 4 different levels of Merle. And due to not the dog that y'all see in the profile picture, not her. She has no Merle in her. But my dog fathers, which come from her, they bred her to a Merle dog. And that's how the Merle got into my genetics. And I have to deal with the Merle. I know ways of breeding a Merle out where you can't see the Merle. I know ways of what dog colors that you can breed to Merle and then knock your whole Merle out. It takes your whole Merle away. So, and it's certain things like that I probably won't reveal. I used, I got my own pie chart. You know what I mean? Like how they be breeding, how you could do the pie chart. The what is it called? The square chart. Like how they breed flowers and dogs and stuff. That right there wasn't good enough for what I was trying to do, and I needed something more that gives me more of a detail. So I had to make my own grafting pie chart. But I didn't use like the squares. I used my own symbols. That way I could dig deeper into the pedigree and be able to give myself more of an explanation of what I'm gonna get due to the dogs that's there. Which I ain't even showed that yet. Which I need to probably try to publish it because I feel like it's very interesting. It just gives you a more detail of when you put two dogs together, which dogs you gonna get. So they got that one chart that like on one side you put like let's say you got blue on one side, so you put little b, and then on the top you put, let's say your dog is black, but has a recessive blue gene. So you do the little b to the big blue, you get a black. So out of that equation, you get 50% black, 50% blue, 25% carry. All dogs carrying blue. Yeah. But I needed something that was a little bit deeper than that. So I had to create my own genetic chart to see what I'm gonna get. Just something I done. I only showed a couple of people. A lot of people can't wrap their mind on it. I showed a couple of my other friends that's good at genetics. They just swallowed this information. Um, so I went into that. What is the cure for Merles? How can you breed Merles together? My program is really based in a making a better dog. So like curing Merles, because Merle is an incomplete gene. So I say curing Merles, but I actually mean completing Merle, or adding, or get to a point where you can. Well, I'm telling you too much about it. So regardless, I don't learned a lot of mistakes with the dogs. What colors make the colors disappear? What colors dominant over another color where you will get this instead of that? What happens when you mix a recessive dog with a diluted dog? Right now, I'm dealing with a diluted recessive gene, and they're like, "What you mean? Blue is already like a diluted gene. It's not the dominant gene." No, I'm dealing with recessive, a diluted recessive red right now, which y'all got to get into, because people really don't even know that you could dilute red and make a type of red a dilution, like how black, when it's diluted, it becomes blue or chocolate. So right now I'm dealing with, I have diluted red. I don't diluted a lot of genes. My dogs had some of my dogs in their background got the 10 points in it. But I bred so far from them 10 points. Plus I don't like Rottweilers. I don't deal with, I don't, it ain't nothing, I don't see some gorgeous American Bullies 10 points. I don't deal with 10 points because I think that's a Rottweiler in that dog. People say no, but my research says you are rather for it to be a Rottweiler than any other dog. You don't want it to be a Doberman Pinscher in that dog. You don't want it to be that Terrier with the 10 points. You don't want it to be no Rat Terrier. So you would rather for it to be a Rottweiler in the dog that's giving the dog the 10 points, out of all the dogs that can give it the 10 points. Just like we know the Merle. The Merle is coming from the Callahoola. If it's not coming from the Callahoola, it's coming from the sheepdogs. If it's not coming from the sheepdogs, it's coming from the Dachshund. If it's not coming from the Dachshund, it's coming from the Great Dane. If it's not, after that, what you gonna say? Oh no, it comes from the Alapaha. Well, the Alapaha has the Callahoola in it that gives it the Merle. And I think her name was like Louise that created this dog, which I'm not like 100%. I'm not 100% on this. Um, Cause it was two dogs at the time. It was two dogs that came out like that, and the American Bulldog is a farm utility dog. So you got to understand, they was using it for a farm utility. What works works. A lot of people do hogs. What works works. And before this dog was a breed, it was based on performance. But all of our dogs, before they was like technically breeds, they were based on performance. I do therapy emotional support dog. So a lot of my stuff is rooted in a lot of things. I breed the ultimate nanny dog, the ultimate affectionate dog, a dog that's gonna be aware of you, a puppy that is only gonna come to you as a puppy. It's not too quick it want to be with you. Like it might run around and stuff like that. When you walk off, this puppy is walking off without you calling it. This puppy is not going to go to nobody else. But at the same time, when you get older, when these dogs get older, they be so well trained. They listen to you so well, but I am dealing with a protection problem because the dogs be so in tune with their master. They be so on point with them. Like, I'm not worried about, let's say y'all come in, rub my dogs, give it something to eat and stuff. I'm not worried about you able to put your hands on me because the dog gonna always know that, okay, this is my guy right here. So Therapy Emotional Support Dog, the dog in the thumbnail, that female dog, she is not getting that. She is really, 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 really protected. That blue eye female dog. And just breeding for these traits that I want. Being able to have a dog that's eye candy. A dog that's when soon you see it, you fall in love. When soon you look into my dog eyes, you gonna fall in love. That right there, get them good homes. I be having the best homes. I don't have any complaints on these dogs. The kids are able to go in the kennels with the dogs. Now you might not be able to whoop your kid no more, but hey, that's all fine and dandy. But we finna get into. I just went on my rant for a while. Y'all have to look on me. I just went on a dog rant because now we gonna get into breeding programs, but before I get into that, let me make sure my channel is still doing this thing. Breeding programs, but before I get into that, let me make sure my channel is still doing this. Okay, so now let's get into these breeding programs, step-by-step breeding programs. I gave y'all insight on mine. Now we finna do a reaction to one of these people talking about a breeding program. What is, what it ain't. So
We can introduce you to these people who believe in our path to success and being a part of success and who have their own dreams as well, which is super important to have. So, let me paint a picture right here. One of our guys, he alluded to going to get more dogs. Oh man, I'm gonna get a few and you go, okay? Let me simplify this and give you perspective. Chris Moore, he told us what? He told us that if he had the right amount of money, hey, cut it out. If he had the right amount of money, he would only buy one great dog to start with. Normally a really good female, real solid female. I'm gonna show you from a business standpoint and a business standpoint on why that is the best way to do it.
now, if you were hearing this person talking about their breeding program, they was telling you about Chris Moore. I think he do bulldogs, which I actually listen to him a lot. Like, I actually listen to him a lot. I follow him a lot. It's a lot of people. If you think I'm not following you and listening to some of the stuff you say, what if it's good information or bad information? I am listening and I'm taking everything that you're saying that's good and I'm leaving the rest. So this guy was just saying if he had an opportunity to start, he would start with expensive, great females. So he talk about 10,000 at least.
Do business. So stay tuned. Let's get into it. Let's just get into it. If you buy two females, so this female one, this is female two. If you buy two females or even a third female, and both dogs have 6 litters or 6 pups, now you have 12 puppies. Do you beyond a reasonable doubt know 12 people who are gonna pay you $3,000 to $5,000, which is market value on American Bully cheap,
Right.
for that dog, and be able to take
Real
care
cheap.
of it for 10 years?
Real cheap.
9 out of 10 people don't have a 10-year strategy on their life. So when people say, hey, I'm buying 4 dogs to start with,
Buying four
you got, let's
dogs.
say, 2 boys and 2 girls. All these dogs, for a fact, let's put in perspective, this is 40 years. That's 40 years of work consolidated into 10 years times 4. So you got 40 years that you just invested in. Now, you don't think of it that way. But for fact,
if you have a healthy dog, that joker will live for 8 to 10. Now times that times 4, yeah, even if you get them all at the same time, they're still consolidate like 40 years of work in like 10 years. That's a lot if you think about it. Now, you've got a stud fee. Let's say we bought our female, $3K. That's gonna be more than that on the female, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Everybody knows me letting a good female go for $3K, but I'm lowballing right now. Your stud fee, $1,500 to $3K, depending on where you go. So you $6,000 in already. In your mind, I'm gonna sell all these pups for $3,000. You can't find 2 people to pay you $3,000. And now you gotta give them away for $1,000 to get out your fucking house. You know how many people sit up there and drop that price about $2? Look, nigga, just make sure you take care of the dog. The nigga gotta get up. My wife losing her shit, boy. These niggas are still shitting everywhere. It's costing me money to tearing shit up because you also didn't project investing in the dog's quality of life long term past what you did with the 8-week mark. You thought at 8 weeks, everybody's gonna be good. Maybe 12 tops. Now you done got to 8 weeks and you're looking at 6 niggas in your house. And niggas ain't going nowhere. Them niggas ain't going nowhere, and definitely not for the price if you didn't market. Nobody knows who you are. If you started off going too fast versus embracing the journey. We started off with Zara and Maya. So you say, hey, why don't you post more? I said, what? 2 bitches I gotta take care of and make sure they grow up properly? There's nothing to post, it's a journey. We still didn't even post after Ego was born a ton. He had to grow up, it's a journey. We still didn't post when Bam Bam and Cha-Cha were born, but we start posting more because it's a journey. Now every time we have a litter, we take you guys on what? A journey. That's why you can say, I love Cha-Cha, some of y'all loved King Tut, some of y'all loved your favorite, Bam Bam. You loved Bam Bam, didn't you? You thought he was going to be the answer, and I did too. Shout out to everybody who loves Ego. But y'all didn't even see him grow up for real. That was like, he was like off grid because this thing didn't exist. Oh, we know you love Tron. We know you love Tronisha. But I wanted to paint a picture of how I would start. Chris Moore said, start with 1 solid female. From a business standpoint, it gives you control. You pay the stud fee, you now own all the pups, be it 6 or 8. Those are what you call assets. If the pups oftentimes are in someone else's house, especially if you've already given them access to your registration number so you can go ahead and get your paperwork, them jokers are hiding them pups will be nowhere to be found. Because you might have been like, oh, let me get a pup back, boom, boom, boom. They'd be like, nah, I'm good. They can change their mind at any moment in time. But when we're talking about asset management, what is the asset in this case? It's not this. $1,000 can do this. Boom. And nobody cared no more. But when you have the female, you have her pups, these are assets. And your job is to move them into great places so you can watch them grow and make sure you have a bitch that can produce. So how would I start? Same way I always tell people, from a business standpoint, start with your female. From your female, keep 1 female from there, especially depending on if you went to a good boy. Then you take another boy, either outcross or go back to the boy that you liked and use that. Oh, no, you don't want to do that because that's too tight line breeding. You want to use a different boy. So we'll get into that another time. That's a whole different thing, showing you the bloodline and how to build all that bullshit out. But from a business standpoint, 1 female, keep the pups, sell all the pups, make sure you get your paperwork, take care of the dogs, and for every female that you buy, you're risking 4 to 6 or 6 to 8, in some cases 9 to 12 pups. Do you know 12 people who can manage their lives effectively, let alone bring in a dog to their life without ever running the risk of that dog ending up at the shelter because they were properly prepared to take care of the dog? I assure you, most puppies are impulse buys, which means there's no chance in hell that 12 people you know for fact are properly prepared to take care of a dog, start to finish, for on average, 10 years. Most people they're gonna be doing it fucking 10 years. They don't have 20-year projections on their lives. They're just trying to get by. So business begins to fail for what? The product. And what's the product? The dog. And this isn't an iPhone. You can't just update it. It's like, hey, my phone's not working. I don't know. Fucking. It's like when a dog no longer is paying attention. If it is a bad breeding, if the dogs are hot, you have a problem. And then you have to do what? Start repossessing dogs. And me and Chris Moore will do a live on dog and puppy repossession. What that looks like, why you do it, what that costs you, time, energy, and effort was. Where do you put that dog when you have to repossess a dog? Guys, if they told you it was easy, they're lying. And this is me just fucking simple. I don't even know how to make it more simple. One female, on average, 4 to 6 pups. 4 to 6 pups could potentially do what? Run you might, if you sold them all for 3K, 6 times 3, 18. So now you made 18K minus $3,000 if you know pay a more than average price. And most times if you get a better than average stud, they're gonna charge you 5, but no less than 3. Now we're back to 15. Once you add up all the years for the 2 years of work, you're already operating at a loss just in your first 2 years or first 3 heats on the female. Not including C-section. If you don't whelp, now you gotta pay a whelper. That's $600 to $800 a week for at least the first 4 weeks, if you even got the kind of time on your hands. Not including our vet charges us about $1.10 for every one of the pups' vaccinations. We'll get this in Texas. I go buy them things from the stores. Now I'm paying $18 tops for them shots. Y'all, you go to your vet, labor alone, $60. Then they charge you for the shot. You $1.10 on 6 pups. 6 pups, that's $600 right there just on shots. Go get their heart checks and other stuff. $600-700. Go get their DNA test. $50 on each pup. You go, how about this? Who told you you was gonna get rich? If you're trying to do it right. So my best advice is to pace yourself. 1 dog, 1 litter, at tops 2 dogs, 1 litter at different times. Invest time, energy, and effort into the pups. And whatever you do, do not double up on a bunch of work. Because I'm telling you right now, when you have 12 to 15 pups, those are 12 to 15 responsibilities you have now to get to good homes, to feed, to take care of, to make sure nobody gets parvo. And then hopefully when they do get there, make sure nobody call and say, hey, can I get a refund? Or, I don't like this dog. Guys, take care of your dogs.
Now we just heard one breeding program. Some people start with um, several puppies. Some people start with just one. Uh, you can put your comment up, and then we can see what you start with. I'll give y'all time to react to that. I will give y'all time to react to that. Put your comment up and see what you think about how would you start your breeding program. Me, how I started mine was, like he said, I brought the female that I like. Um, I went and paid in to the male I wanted to use by 5,000. Um, going into a dog that cost 20,000. So I'm breeding these dogs. Boom, I got my result. I kept a girl, 2 boys. I bought a half brother from her off the same male dog that I use. I got a half brother, and I got 2 dogs that I wanted to use to bring into my program, and that's where we started at. Now I want to get some feedback, so I'm gonna have to be patient with y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a second. Just being patient with y'all. Giving y'all a second. Checking my live and seeing how it's going. before we get to the next thing about breeding dogs and seeing what's going on in that area. Now I just wanna, like I said, giving my people just a little time to check it out, see what's going on. And I really like late night dogging it. So we'll go and check the live and see what's going on. Okay, so we getting heard real good. Go back a couple. Okay, okay. So we know the channel is actually jumping right now. It's actually live in effect. Um, which I should have did like more where people could come on, drop the link, let people actually talk about the dogs. But like I said, I'm in my F2. It's all based on my thumbnail female. And we can go on and on. I just want to show y'all one person that was doing the dogs. I jump on again eventually, and we'll go over another dog breeding program because it's all about breeding dogs, your program in breeding dogs. And as we grow, hopefully, we'll get more people to talk about breeding these dogs. And I could go into these other channels I be watching, and we could do like a, a review on what they saying. And like I said, I do agree with the person that was talking, especially about the way to start, because I started that way. But I did start that way. But once I started that way, I made my cross. I kept two males, one female. I bought a half brother. After I bought that half brother, I went and I got two females to go to my two males and two females that complement my males. I bought both females, like one female for this dog, one female for that dog. And that way we can start breeding like I would like to. First breeding that I done the half brother, half sister, and one male to one of my males to a to a female that complement him and had the traits that I was looking for. I bred that, pulled the traits out. Once I got those traits, I went to the next level. 2 years later, I took I didn't breed my other male. I left him alone. But I took that male and took him to his niece later. And now these are the puppies y'all be seeing with the blue eyes and gorgeous, my F2s. Um, and y'all will be seeing more from me. Like, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We starting off small, but I promise you, we gonna get bigger. Therapy, emotional support dog. Make sure you take care of your dogs, letting them out, especially if you got inside dogs. If you got outside dogs, make sure you keep their area clean. Make sure you keep your dog area clean. Do not let your neighbors complain. Keep your dogs out your neighbor's yard. And hey, it's them dogs. Roof.